I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings, everyone. Hope you're all having a nice Tuesday. Hope you all had a nice Monday night. I definitely had a good one. I think I went 5-1 or 6-1 with my bets last night. Couple really nice ones. Cardinals plus 158 was sweet. Guardians plus 120. It was definitely a nice Monday night for me. Hopefully that continues. Actually makes 3 good days in a row. So I'm riding high. Perfect time to just collapse and crash and burn. No, but things have been going well the last few days. Hopefully that continues. I'm sure Chris will be here in a second. We got a lot here. We got 2 NBA games, 15 MLB games, and then we got the Big Nasty, my cousin, coming on after that to talk golf. He went 4-0 last weekend. So Big Nasty on a bit of a heater coming at the end.
Some of those baseball games got rained out, by the way. I think 2 of them already got postponed.
I took care of it. I removed them. The ones that got postponed, I took out. 1 second, Chris. All right. So first game up, and I haven't bet either NBA game. I'm down to bet them both. As you've heard me say a bunch of times, there's not a ton. You're not going to beat these markets. They're extremely efficient in these playoff games. I mean, maybe if you can find some prop stuff. But I'll put up what I would bet in this game and maybe what I will end up betting. I would probably go right here with it. And like I said, maybe I end up betting this. I probably will. 1 sec. Let me just get it up on the screen. I didn't even make a graphic for it because I didn't actually bet it. Pacers team total over 111.5 is probably where I would go with it. If you take a look at the game logs here in the playoffs for the Pacers, 1 second. Okay, here are the Pacers game logs right here. Right here, offensive rating. So first you have the Milwaukee series. What did we see? 3 excellent offensive games, 2 duds. In the Cleveland series, we've seen 4 games, 3 excellent offensive game, 1 dud. So in terms of what we've seen from the Pacers so far in the playoffs, it's more often than not, we're seeing an excellent offensive game. They're one of the best offenses in the NBA. And if they're anywhere up close to 120 in terms of offensive efficiency, they're going to get up and over 111.5. The last 3 games of this series have been relatively fast-paced, 101 possessions per in each of the last 3. So at this pace, I mean, quick math, just to give you some quick math, if we're going to see this pace, 101 possessions. If we get 115 offensive efficiency, we're going to get up and over. Technically 112 offensive efficiency would get up and over 111 points. So if we see this pace and get anywhere close to this, if we see this pace and get a 111, we're going to be there in terms of the team total. So the 111.5 seems very doable based on what we've seen so far. I personally don't know how. Look, and I kind of feel this way about both games tonight. In terms of player EPM ratings, the market's pretty efficient. Like, I have it around 8 as well in terms of player EPM ratings. But in terms of the eye test, I don't know how you lay 8 to this Pacers team. I would imagine most people are grabbing the points with the Pacers. Clearly, there's some sharp action coming in on the Cleveland side, keeping this number up there. So maybe Cleveland scores 130 points, but I feel like the safest bet on the board in terms of a side or a total would just be take Indiana team total over 111.5. You can get a minus 105. Again, I didn't bet this. That's probably where I would go with it. Chris, you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. You can get a 110, Kyle, on DraftKings
really?
right now. Yeah, I just looked at it while you were talking. I saw 110. See if you see it. 110.5.
I have 111.5, 105, unless it's just this page just haven't updated yet. Let me actually open. Yeah, I think
110.5 minus 118 is what I see, but I saw minus 112. I thought, but yeah, if you want to lay the juice, just 18 cents, a couple more cents of juice. I agree. I actually bet it, Kyle, not the team total, but I took the points with the Pacers, and I did it right after the game the other night. And maybe I'm wrong for doing so because the market moved against me. This was at 7 when I bet it. So I actually got a worse of the number. Pinnacle got this at 8 right now. So you can grab some 8s out there. And it's more than just Pinnacle too. It's a couple books got it at 8. But The way I see things, I think Donovan Mitchell is going to play. He was active at shoot around.
Yep.
Do I think he'll be 100%? No. Do I think that health matters a lot in this series? Yes. I mean, we don't have to just look at this series, but we can start with this series. The Pacers being the more healthier team, they probably going to win this series. Last round, they got the Bucks. Were they the healthier team? Absolutely. Damian Lillard goes down. Go back to last year when they beat your Knicks, Kyle. Were they the healthier team? Yes. Go back to, I mean, you just keep going back and back. I can't remember who else they beat last year.
Bucks.
They also,
the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That karma's coming around for him. It's coming.
Yeah.
There's a storm coming to Indianapolis.
Well, I think my point is Indianapolis is going to get there, Kyle. I think, going back to last game, Cavs were a better team. They wiped the board with the Pacers. They forced 22 turnovers for 35 points, held Cleveland to 26 shooting from the three, 25% from the field in the first half, gave up 80 points. The Cavs did in the first half. I don't think all of that's going to change. Were dominated on, points in the paint, all that good stuff. The one thing that does always come back to me when I'm thinking about this series is the three-point shooting. The Cavs are not the greatest three-point defense. And the Pacers actually been knocking them down. They shot 3.5% in the last game. Vice versa, the Pacers 3-point defense is good, and that's all the Cavs want to do. So, I mean, I get it, right? This is supposed to be leave it all on the floor type spot for the Cavs. Does that mean that they win the game by margin, though? I don't think so. I think that if you like the Cavs, you probably want to take them early because I do think they come out with a sense of urgency, especially after getting beat down in the last game. But I think full game 7, 8, 7.5 is still too many. So yeah, I took the points here, guy. I got +7 in my pocket.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the reason we're seeing this number stay so high would be the modeling community, because this game still is modeling out. I mean, most people that use those player EPM ratings, that's what's used in those models, and it's still modeling out around 8. So there's a lot of people that just stay true to that, and they're just like, this will turn, like, I'm just going to follow my model. This will turn a profit for me long term. So the eye test will tell you maybe throw the model out a little bit because the Pacers are not playing at a level that's 8 points beneath Cleveland. But there's some people that have influence over the market that blindly follow that. So I think that would explain some of it. And that being said, I don't have the balls to take the +7.5. So team total over a pass for me. What about Matthew?
Kyle, real quick, before you go, Modai, Kyle, when we get to the next game, I want to hear what your model thinks about that one. Go ahead, Modai.
Yeah, I don't have an official play in this one. I kind of feel like the Cavs are just going to lay down and die. Like the part of the thing with those models is like, does it take into account that Darius Garland has 9 toes? That one of them, like, he can't move because of his toe? Does it take into account a sprained ankle for Donovan Mitchell? Does it take into account the fact that Ty Jerome, it looks like he's never touched the basketball in his entire life? Like, I'm sorry, but like,
bad. He was so bad in the last game.
It looks like he looked a deer in headlights. Like, he's never literally touched a basketball in his entire life. So, like I said, I don't have an official play in this one. I don't even want to touch a player prop, which is what how much I don't like it.
So you're scared.
Yeah, sure. I would take the Pacers with the points. I just don't. This just should not be 7.5.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I would go. I don't have a bet in this one.
No first quarter, nothing, Moda. No first quarter. Pascal Siakam rebounds.
He's not even
bounce back. Like,
yeah, right?
This sounds like me coming on the show, Kyle. They say Chris be cautious. That's what they call me in the streets. Chris be cautious.
I was thinking he was going to give us some Aaron Nesmith over a half foul in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Well, I wanted to go Benedict Mathurin because after that ejection, just figured he comes out firing. But no, I'm good.
All right, let's move on to the second game. And to answer your question, Chris, that you just asked me, where is the EPM numbers modeling out for this one? I will bring it up on the screen before we even get started. The answer is, whoops, hold on. Let me stretch the screen out so you can see it. At around 10. 119, 109. So that explains why these numbers are so big, because there's a large percentage of the betting community that has influence that just sticks to that because they know it'll turn them profit long term. Personally, I am more inclined to be a buyer on this one. I do think Oklahoma City's that much better than Denver. I know that the series hasn't really been a reflection of that. We're sitting at 2-2. I get it. I kind of want to lay the 10. I know. Sounds freaking crazy. I just feel like the reasons to back Denver are so, like, not superficial. What's the word? They're so, like, ESPN-ish, where it's like SGA can't finish in the big moments, and like those first take headlines where it's like, in my opinion, belong nowhere near pricing out a game. I feel like that's the reasons to take Denver is the those type of hot take type shit, which you guys know I hate. I hate that shit.
Cal, can I ask you this? So going back through, I'm pretty sure you got a lot of red on your sheet when you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder offensive rating over the last couple games. And we talked about this after game 3, right? How I think it had been, when I was looking back at it, they hadn't had an offensive rating that bad since the first game of the season against the Chicago Bulls. I think they won that game like 96-82. It was their defense that won that game at the beginning of the season. But then you see them not be able to score the basketball again in that last game. Both teams shooting 30%.
Even worse.
Yeah, what are you thinking about that? You don't believe in Denver defensive? I know that they gave up 146 in game 2 when they got smoked, or 149 or whatever it was. But I'm having a hard time trusting OKC's offense.
I know this is such a cop-out response, but in the elevation, it was in the elevation.
That's true. So look, all right, so Kyle, so to your point, right? To your point, here's the thing that I have in the chamber that I didn't play yet. And it's OKC first half. The second half, we've seen the game slow down. It's 6.5. Or it was 6.5. This number's come down to 9.5 now. I see 9.5 on a lot of books. Real quick, let me just see because I haven't bet it yet. But let me see if I can get a better number. No, it's still 6.5 minus 105 on Bet365 right now. And to your point, Kyle, if we take this series out of elevation, game 1, even though OKC lost to Denver, they were winning at halftime 60-50. So, I mean, that would cover the 6.5, right? We go back to game. They ended up, just Aaron Gordon hitting the 3, and then they end up losing the game. We go to game 2. We fast forward to game 2. They absolutely, it's abomination. Like, they blow Denver out at home. They're winning 87-56 at halftime. That definitely covers the 6.5. Yeah. So I kind of want to go back to that, Cal, thinking that, maybe it slows down. They'll be back home. I think they understand how good Denver is now, being that this series is 2-2, and they came out with a split. Rush is going in there and getting both games. So I think you see, as you would say, their best fastball early in this game because they have been the better of these two teams before they go into the locker room at halftime. So that's what I really want to bet. I want to bet the minus 6.5 in the first half, but I don't have any action here.
Yeah, I don't. I'll put the Thunder up. That's what I want to do. I want to lay the big number. I do think like I said, when this series started, game 1 in Oklahoma City, I had it at 12. So I think they are that much better. I mean, let's not forget, they were the best team in the NBA by almost a country mile this season. There wasn't a close second. So I do have them that much better than Denver. And this series, we've just seen so much weird shit. I mean, in game 1, Oklahoma City blows a big lead, takes their foot off the pedal, they lose. Game 2, they beat the life out of Denver. And then game 3 and 4 at Denver, the offense doesn't show up for one. In game 4, these two teams were a combined 1-for-31 from 3 to start the game. How what kind of data point is that?
17-8 at the end of the first quarter.
They were a combined 1-for-31 from 3 combined. What kind of a data point is that? I don't even know what the frick. What do I do with that? So I'm putting Oklahoma City up because, like I said, I have it at about 12.
What would you do with it? What would you do with the total, Kyle? So this got bet back up, right? It opened 217.5.
It's way too low.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it has to go back over, right?
I thought last game was going to be high scoring. What the hell was that? I think it's way too low. But this series has me just scratching my head. So I'm not even going to try to sit here and act like I have some kind of angle or I got nothing.
The same exact way. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we're in agreement here because I've been scratching my brain trying to figure it out too.
What about Matthew?
I would agree with you guys on OKC. I feel like Denver, I feel like they've kind of showed their hand and they've done everything they can do in terms of adjustments, where OKC just has a lot more ways they can win and they can rely on a lot more guys. Like we saw Denver go to the zone a ton in game 4, and then the Thunder finally started to figure it out and they made a bunch of huge 3-pointers from a lot of their role guys. And then OKC going back home, I would lean towards that. The play that I logged in and I do like a lot, I took, and it's going to sound stupid, I took Russell Westbrook 3+ points in the first quarter. The guy just comes in and takes a ton of shots. He last game took 6 shots.
What's the price on that? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Sorry, no, you're good. Plus 150.
Plus 150 for 3+ points.
Correct.
Got it.
He's going to come in, play 4 to 5 minutes, take 3 to 5 shots. We just need him to make 2 or 1 3-pointer. Again, last game, came in, took 6 shots. He missed all of them. Didn't score a single point in the first quarter. That's fine. You're telling me he's going to put up 6 shots. I'm good with that. He hit it in games 1 and 2, and I don't necessarily think it matters. Like, oh, he wants to go back into Oklahoma City. I just think it's a streaky shooter that had 2 good games and 2 bad games. But like his role is just to come in and muck it up, come in and shoot. So yeah, give me 3 points for plus 150 odds. That was the one that I did lock in and send out for this game.
All right. Let's real quick. Oh, Chris, I'll talk to you later. I'll see you tomorrow. Matt, you're sticking around to give us some home runs, right? All right, cool.
And you'll see me
best of luck
too.
tonight, fellas.
Yes. Later, Chris.
See you, Chris.
Let's hit the song.
And it makes you feel down. And it makes you feel down. And it makes you feel down. Down. Down.
Your boy Jackson Merrill let me down this weekend.
It's too soon to say that to Toast. All right, Matt, hit us with it. What do you got?
All right, I got 4. I'll be quick. Ryan McMahon plus 420 FanDuel. The guy's been hitting the crap out of the. Wait, did something happen? Sorry, I heard background noise.
Toast, they can't hear you. Yeah.
Oh, no, good. Yeah, Ryan McMahon plus 420. Dude's on fire. 8 barrels, 22 hard hits in the last 2 weeks. Good launch angle, 16.8 degrees. 13.5 barrel rate on the year. Jack Leiter pitching for the Rangers is not bad. He's only given up 2 home runs. Granted, it's in 12 innings. He's given up 2 home runs on the year. Both of them have been hit by lefties, and it's only 12 innings, so it's not a big sample size. The next one I took was Kyle Tucker. The biggest issue with this one is just the weather. The wind's blowing in Wrigley, and that affects the ball a ton. But Kyle Tucker's been hitting the ball well. He's great to take for a home run because he consistently puts the ball in the air. 50% fly ball rate, 48% pull rate. And yesterday, didn't hit a home run, hit a triple, 104 miles per hour off the bat. And then the third one, I took James Wood. He's going up against Schwellenbach, who ended last year on an absolute tear. Has not really been good this year, specifically against lefties. 5 home runs allowed on the year, all 5 to lefties. And James Wood is also on fire. I know he just hit a home run yesterday. It doesn't scare me off. 22 hard hits in his last 9 games. It's crazy. Coming off of 2 barrels yesterday, so another barrel along with the home run that he hit yesterday. So those are the 3 ones that I put out on YouTube, and then I also added Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, because
what about Buxton, dude?
Buxton got ruled. That game got
postponed.
postponed.
That game got postponed, right? Okay.
So I added in Will Smith because of that. So yeah, those are the 4.
All right, Matt. Enjoy your day.
Thanks, gentlemen. See you tomorrow.
All right, let's talk some ball or some seam. People asking about Prop Beaver. He's taking the summer off to learn Python, but he will be at the Yankee game May 22nd. If anyone's coming to that, he will be there. Whoa. All right. Yeah, Prop Beaver's actually my sober driver. All right. You could have been my sober driver, Toast. Maybe.
And I don't drink alcohol.
Maybe I don't know if I didn't trust you to drive my car. But
I've driven it once. It was all right. I made it back in one piece.
I don't even remember that. When did you drive my
car?
car?
I went to the gas station.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah. I forgot about that. All right. Yeah, to be honest, you could have just drove the car. I guess I was just leaving it open in case you're on vacation, in case you wanted to drink too.
I mean, I'd love to see Prop Beaver either way. So
yeah, he's coming.
Yeah, so even better. Maybe I'll get a little bit frisky, have a beer,
have a brew.
John, how we doing, brother?
Oh,
you're on mute.
No. I have him muted. He was making noise in the background when we were doing basketball.
Sorry, John.
You're good now, John.
Oh, what's going on, everybody?
All right.
He was making funny noises.
No, he was typing and it was loud as hell while we were talking basketball, so I hit the mute button.
Also, so sad. Our Cardinals bet is just.
Did
gone.
You see we had 7.2% CLV on that?
Yes, dude. I was like, yo.
We crushed it. Postponed. All right. John, the Priest is on the mound in Cleveland. Any thoughts on this one?
Okay, yeah. Judas Priest are on the bump against Logan Allen. I did not bet this one. I am leaning Cleveland for the win, though. My gosh, this Milwaukee offense is terrible. They're actually shaking up the top of the order. I don't know if you saw this lineup come out. They're going Churio, Daz, Cameron in the 2-hole. Not great, Bob. Listen, neither one of these guys have been great. I have a hard time backing Allen. The model just likes, Cleveland's been better on offense. Allen's probably been a little better than Priester. I've been doing these really cool notes. I told you I got out of the box a little bit slow betting. So I had my Rocky 3 moment, like going back to my roots, which is always doing the advanced pitching stuff. So Priester featuring a sinker that I really don't like. It's getting in hard, and he's been lucky. So this guy's a 5 ERA, and the contact hasn't really caught up to the results. The slide has been pretty good. Allen on the other side, he throws that 4-seamer way too much. At only 90 miles an hour, it's not great. But the arsenal is okay. He doesn't get a lot of whiffs, but we've seen a few of those outings earlier in the season from Allen where he could go, 5 1/3, give up 1, 5 1/3, give up 2. Because like I mentioned, Milwaukee v. lefties on the season, it's really bad. And they face lefties maybe more than anybody. They were over 500 PAs, sub 600 OPS, 058 ISO, bottom 5 XWOA, bottom 5 XCon. So pretty ugly. I'd be looking for Cleveland to outlast them, though. I'm not really too excited about either side.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Brewers, and I was making fun of Trevor last night. He's a Brewers fan. Dead last in WRC plus in the last 2 weeks. This is the worst lineup in baseball right now. Well, let's not say the worst. Let's say the coldest lineup in baseball right now. So, I do think it's a sneaky spot to play on Milwaukee. I said Brewers are past last night, so I'll put the Brewers up, but want to be very clear. Not even close to remote. I said if it got to plus 120, I would bet it, is what I said last night. Didn't even get close to that. Not betting this game. Toast.
Well, it's plus 115 now.
I was going to say, you're getting there. You're getting there.
Ooh,
You're getting there.
I'm helped to push it your way again. I don't love Cleveland and I don't love Allen, but man, anytime I get strong model reads and it's been out for the whole day, CLV always tends to find us. So money's been going in on Cleveland.
What I was looking at,
like Milwaukee, because again, I'm not really sold on it.
I was looking at right here. Cleveland at home, one of the worst home lineups in baseball this year.
How about the Schneeman, though? The Schneeman doing work right now, bro.
What do you think, Toast?
It would only be Cleveland first 5 team total over for me. Over 2.5 minus 105, minus 110. Call it. You can get minus 105 if you look for it, but the only thing, again, what Kyle just mentioned is kind of the only thing that's throwing me off a little bit is that this Guardians offense, usually a place that we can trust them at home, definitely not been the case this year. But I can't get over the fact of 2 things. One, Cleveland has been pretty damn good versus righty starters. Obviously we know that Zach Wheeler blanked him, but 4 off of Nola, Soroka, 2 off of Irvin, 3 off of Bradley Lord, 4 off of Francis. Who cares? He sucks. But Gausman got him, but 3 off of Bassett. So I do think that there's an avenue there, as I like to say, for Cleveland to score, not to mention the fact that Quinn Priester, regardless of the sample size or not, has just been blown up by lefties so far this year. And obviously Cleveland is going to be a very heavy left-handed lineup here today. So the weather's also somewhat decent here today as well. It looks like it's going to be like 70 degrees with the wind kind of blowing out towards left field or so. So it would only be Cleveland first 5 team total over 1.5. I might end up playing it because now 2 games have been rained out. And so I'm not searching for bets, but I might gamble a little bit.
I kind of like the Brewers if I get a plus 120. Let's just say. See where it's at when we're at the end of the stream. That's all I'll say. Oh, a couple of quick announcements. First, Toast, Underdog Pickem. Go ahead.
Soto fantasy points. He's been hitless the last 2 nights. He has a really good matchup today versus Mitch Keller. Not to mention the fact I like to preach on this. I do fantasy points for certain guys because Underdog gives you 3 points a walk. So Soto's one of those guys that can definitely take his walk, so we can get some points there. Jackson Merrill went on a little bit of a deep dive. Since June 8th of last year, only Judge and Ohtani have a better slugging percentage, WRC plus, than Jackson Merrill. He has been an absolute godsend for the San Diego Padres. Just continue to have him play runs or score some runs tonight. And then Aaron Judge in Seattle. rinse and repeat. It's just every single time. So I don't think you guys need a reason for Aaron Judge to hit well tonight. But yeah, those are my three. I like them a lot, actually.
So that's an Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. The promo code, if you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, is BET, B-E-T. Get you up to $1,000 deposit bonus. So it's a 50% match. You deposit, let's say, $1,000 in, they'll give you a free $500 to play with. Announcement number 2, betting league standings. We're one day into the new week. In the skin rash division, hat number 1,000 for Sauce is in the lead, followed by the Turd Burglar. Gas station jerseys is third. In Milwaukee's best, C-Flip has the lead, followed by Southpaw, Orioles Ball Enjoyer. Didn't know those existed. And Padres Bullpen Stinks is in 4th place. In Bumble Swipes, yours truly out in front where I belong, 3.54 units. I am not the overall chip leader, though. I'm second. Thrive Construction, Tinker. My division's actually loaded. If you scroll down, there's a lot of people winning in the Bumble Swipes division. Let's go down to the Southern Conference here. In the dish detergent division, Jim Boy's out in front, followed by Fat Neck and Reggie Hammond. Eastern Beyonce division, Chia Betts is the overall chip leader after day 1, 3.77 units. Charles Selman is right there, followed by Bake and Cooper Rush, 2 points. And then the last division, we have the Mole People. I'm your Huckleberries in first, followed by Fat Fingers and Cliff picks the. All right, White Sox, Reds, and Cincinnati. Ugly one here. John, what are your thoughts on the Reds' inability to hit in Great American Ballpark? What is that?
Man, they are so insanely volatile. And, I mean, there aren't many teams on the list like the Reds that have posted, even if they're small samples, I don't care. They've been the best team in the league for a 2-week stretch, and they've also been the worst team in the league for a 2-week stretch. Right now, we're kind of pushing that other one. Last 7 days as the team, they're hitting at the Mendoza line. They're dead last in strikeouts. 32% strikeout rate as a team last 2 weeks. That's good for a 72 WRC plus, man. That offense has been really, just outrageously bad. If you're going to get it going, would be against the Cannon, right? John Cannon on the bump. He's coming off like 3 good starts in a row. Again, this is why I love doing these pitching notes, because yes, he's produced, but I'm not buying whatever it is Cannon's selling. I think he finally gets blown up. He's leading with a cutter that's only 89 miles an hour. The changeup has been good, but the arsenal's getting hit really hard. I think he comes back to earth. Where the other side, Andrew Abbott, man, few guys pass the sniff test, like under the hood, the way Abbott does. Man, multiple plus pitches, 4-seamer, sweeper, curve, and the changeup that he throws to righties all have a max 350 X slug, minimum 23 whiff. 2 of those pitches have a 31 whiff. And, we finally saw him actually get some distance, be a little bit efficient. That's Andrew Abbott. So if he gets ahead of hitters, cuts down the walks a little bit, he should be really good. I think the Reds get back on track. Just because if anyone's as bad as the Reds, it would be the White Sox. They haven't done a damn thing. They haven't hit lefties at all this season. They're just bottom 5 across the board. They have a 266 OBP against lefties on the season. They don't take walks. They lose in the zone. Sub-6 barrel, 284 X-WOBA, like all the things that you want to attack. I think the Reds got it right today. I actually think they cover them up because I think the Reds' bullpen's actually pretty good. And they're rested. I think the White Sox bullpen sucks. And if I'm not mistaken, those guys, you know what? They might have been off. Were they off yesterday?
Yeah.
I know they were. Yeah, they were off, but they had been taxed. All those guys had gone 2 out of 3, thrown a shit ton of pitches, and it's not like they're good anyway. So I think the Reds get it going back on track. Give me the Reds to cover. I actually hit this one.
I agree. It would only be the Reds minus 1.5. I don't have it in me to place it, but yeah, Reds minus 1.5 for pass toast.
Yeah, same here for me. The only thing, again, like you guys touched on, it's just for me, I don't know if I can do it with maybe because of the rainouts. It's just they're not getting to right-handed starters, and
I know anybody.
It's so like John said, it's so hit or miss. But I do think all those righties in the lineup today should give Cannon some problems. So I agree with John. Cannon's been somewhat decent, but sooner or later, as I like to say, that dam's going to break. So it would only be Reds minus 1.5 for me.
Let's move
really
on.
Great call out on the righty splits. People are always looking for those opposite splits, but that's not always the case. Depending on the movement profile from a pitcher, they might be looking for glove side break or arm side break, where if they miss to righties, it ends up over the plate. So Man, the Reds better score.
Well,
freaking
here's
4
another
runs
thing
today.
too with the Reds today. They have Matt McClain batting 8th, which I don't know if he got in trouble. I don't know if Tito's just trying to make a point. I don't know what's going on, but it tells me in my stomach that the Reds probably go off tonight, and Matt McClain probably does
Also,
something.
did you notice Reese Hines was up? Then they go and make the move for Connor Joe, so he's in the lineup again today. Man, I can't believe after all the little bit of Hines hype over the years that they're going with Connor Joe over Hines when they had an opportunity. Yeah, I just think he's mixing up. It looks like Espinal is in the 2-hole.
Yeah,
I mean, he's actually hit, but yeah, I wouldn't be replacing McLean ABs for Espinal.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing?
Next up is Boston on the road in Detroit, and we got this one, Toast. We took the over 8. We said we thought it was going to close at 8.5. Here we are. It's there at 8.5. So we got this one. Doesn't necessarily means we're going to win the bet, but we beat the market. So yeah, Toast, I tailed you on this over. We got the 8.
Yeah. Couple things in play here for me. I do trust the Boston bats at this moment. I mean, I think that they've kind of kicked it into gear over the last couple of weeks. They've had a couple duds, obviously, but for the most part, this Boston offense seems to be working pretty well, even without Tristan Casas here today. So getting what's his face Campbell back in the lineup, I do think that helps. I know that he's been slumping, but I do think that helps. But it's Kiter Montero versus them. I know that they're going to be he's the primary pitcher, but regardless, I'm not really worried about Kiter Montero, especially against Boston with a whole bunch of lefties.
I'm sorry to cut you off because we're going to get the same question. So Holton is the opener. Montero is the primary. So what you're going to see is Holton throw an inning, and then they're going to bring Montero in to pitch what should be ideally a bulk of the game. Innings 2 through 6. The idea is they don't trust Montero to get it into their late inning arms by himself, so he needs a boost. Plus, they can select a pitcher match up against the top of the order. Maybe sometimes you'll see
That's it.
Yeah, if a lineup has, you know what? I'll tell you probably exactly why they're doing
exactly
this.
what you just said.
Well,
He's
they have Duran and
versus,
Devers leading
terrible
off.
versus lefties, and Duran and Devers are leading off.
Well, Holton has not been good against left-handers this year. He's given up a bunch of home runs in a really small sample. In his career, he had been tough against lefties, but that was the idea. Boston's lineup is out. They're going Duran and Devers. The idea is to get Holton against the 2 lefties earlier.
Right. This is why, because Montero's their primary pitcher. Look at his numbers against lefties. Boston's got some dangerous lefties at the top of the lineup, so they use Holton to get through the first 3 or 4 batters, and then bring Montero in to try to get him through the 5th or the 6th. Over. And also, on that same subject, it was these splits right here, and then down on the other side, I'm sure Toast was about to talk about this. Bayo himself is struggling against lefties this year, and the Tigers are loaded with lefties. So 2 righty arms on the mound that struggle against lefty bats, 2 lineups that have a lot of lefty bats in it. Yeah. Someone said, is that a Detroit thing or a league-wide strategy? You'll see a bunch of teams do it. It's probably started like 2 years ago. More and more teams are doing it. It's not like an everyday thing, but they usually use it for that reason. If they have a starter that they don't think can go 100 pitches / a bad splits for the first few hitters. So a lot of times you'll see if they have like a righty starter coming in and the first few batters are lefties, they'll bring in a lefty reliever as the opener to pitch to those first few batters, and then bring in their primary pitcher, who then he gets to cruise through 6 or 7 batters before he has to see those guys again. He won't see those guys till hopefully the 3rd or 4th inning. So, well, the 3rd. All right, John, what do you think here? Me and Toast are both on the over 8.
Yeah, now it's hard to find an 8. You got to pay the juice. I may go same kind of idea, but the Detroit team total is only 3.5 minus 135.
That was exactly what I said last night.
So that's where they're those bets are kind of in line. I was diving in on Bayo. I'm not loving this, man. You mentioned the rough splits against lefties. They have a nearly 800 OPS. He's walking 17% of the lefties he's faced. They're hitting him hard. He's got 12? I got 12 walks in his last 22 in a third. I don't like any of these pitchers that lead with the sinker. Granted, it is a pretty good pitch. I'll give him that. That said, the slider and changeup combo is not great. He misses a lot. He's getting hit hard. The Detroit offense has been pretty awesome right now. I mean, they just don't really feel like a 3.5 run team getting off the bus. They feel like a 4.5 minus 105, minus 110. So I like the value. I like the Detroit's bats. But if you could find an 08, I was on that also. The over is where I'd be. Because Holton, I mean, again, it's tough because this year he struggled against lefties, but in general, he'd been good. Devers and Duran can both hit lefties, but you don't expect really tough ones too. So yeah, I guess put me down for the Detroit 4 runs. I think I like that best.
You can still get an 8 at FanDuel. Someone said in the comments that is true. You can still get an 8.
Is it minus 125?
It's minus 118, I think, or minus. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, let's move on. Next up, Rays, Blue Jays. I was really, really considering pulling the trigger on Toronto last night. I think there was a minus 120 available.
Should have too, because now Tampa Bay is not going to have Diaz in the lineup, who's like one of their best hitters.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. Everyone was like, last night, no one was really feeling the pick, and I'm looking at Toronto's numbers against the recent righty starters. They're getting to righty starters. So I think Toronto can hit off Shane Baz. I'm a little bit of a Jose Barrios apologist. I don't think he's nearly as bad as perceived. He's kind of a guy that people just like love to hate on, where it's like people, the way people talk about Jose Barrios, you would think he's like Patrick Corbin. Like it's not that bad. I mean, what do you think here, John? Because me and Toast were both kind of indifferent about this one.
Yeah, I was kind of like the big Barrios hater.
Oh, you're one of those.
After doing the dive, I think I have to I owe this guy an apology because all right, so back-to-back quality starts, 3 or 4 quality starts. Again, I never love these sinker first guys. I really don't. So he's going to go as the sinker goes always. That said, this new slurve and changeup combo Barrios is using has been excellent. It really has been excellent. I ended up on Tampa Bay F5 early on today. But man, without that's a killer without Diaz. We really needed him. He's on the restricted list. A lot of times that's not good news. I heard it could be visa stuff, but sometimes it's like legal troubles, or sometimes that's the precursor to PED suspensions when you see restricted. So we may not see Diaz now. We may not see him again. Again, my cap was more on the price and Baz. I'm kind of buying the dip on Baz. He's given up a ton of runs his last 2 starts. But, man, you pop the hood. It's awesome. The velo's been good. The shape on the fastball is good. That curveball changeup combination are really good. And I haven't really been buying the Toronto offense. They've been good lately. I have to give it up. They have been good. They finally started hitting righties. I get it. But they do chase outside the zone a lot. They don't steal bases. And I was hoping that would kind of be the pathway to have Tampa scratch a run across. But without Diaz, I got to admit, I'm a little less confident.
I'll put Toronto up because that's the way I lean. I'm not going to bet it now. If you were going to bet Toronto, probably should have done it last night. Could have got like a minus 120. Our graphics just blindly show the consensus line. So without even looking, I'm sure you could find something a little better than minus 133, but might be a little out of price at this point. My play was just on Toronto's been hitting righty starters, and also a fade of the Rays bats. The Rays, they started off, they played like 20 of their first 23 games at home in a AAA ballpark, and they were actually putting up decent offensive numbers, and they kind of gave us a false idea of what this Rays lineup is. This is not a good offensive team. In fact, they're back there with the Brewers in the last couple weeks. This team does not hit. So say what you want to say about Toronto. They've been hitting the last few righty starters they've seen. Anything is better than the Tampa lineup. Now with no Diaz in the lineup, but also the price is accounted for that. It's moved about 8 cents. It would only be Toronto for me, but I couldn't get there with this one. Toast, you passed on this, right?
Yeah, I passed. I just don't know what to expect from Shane Baz. That's the one thing. I think there's too many questions marks with him. I know that he has looked really good at times versus bad lineups. He's gotten blown up by some decent lineups. For me, the jury's still out on him. And then as far as the Blue Jays are concerned, the numbers look great, but they just had a really good series in Seattle. I think that really bumps them up, and I'm not a fan of this Blue Jays bullpen at the moment, so it's just enough for me to pass. It would be Blue Jays or pass.
Nice. I'll put a Blue Jays logo up there for you.
We'll try it on.
Just for the screenshot in case they win, and when neither of us actually bet it.
Or when they lose, and they can do that too.
Yeah, they can use it. And then we could be like, we didn't actually bet it, though.
We figured these guys.
Pirates, Mets in Citi Field. John, true or false? Pittsburgh can score runs on Kodai Senga.
No, the answer is false. That's a no.
John.
Hold on. No, that's my response. This one feels a little bit like the Reds game. So, okay, Keller first. I've never been a big fan. All the indicators are a full run worse. The ERA, the swinging strike rate's down below 8. He's pitching to contact, getting squared up. And he's really struggled with lefties. Lefties batting .318 with 3 Shamalama ding-dongs off Keller already. So we know the Mets, those lefties have been great. Soto, Lindor, Nimmo have all been fantastic. Sure, Senga does have a 1.16 ERA, and that will eventually regress negatively. I don't think it starts today. Again, these pitchers couldn't be any more different under the hood. Keller, he's in love with this fastball that's not any good, and he's been extremely lucky on it so far. The slider doesn't do swifts, but gets hit hard. The entire arsenal gets hit hard. And as far as Senga goes, he's given up 5 earned runs in nearly 39 innings. The four-seamer to the fork, the way those tunnel is fantastic. Then he's got that thing that kind of gives me the spreadsheet boner, which is he has an out pitch to, so he throws a slider to righties. He throws a sweeper to lefties. So he has 2 plus pitches that work off each other complimentary-wise, and then an out pitch to each handed hitter. Cody Senga is the GOAT. And then also Pittsburgh rang on my gassed bullpen. Bednar pitched 3 of 4. Santana pitched 3 of 4. Ferguson pitched 3 of 4. Holderman threw 21 pitches last night. Even if the Mets don't get Keller early, we should get the cover late. I know you mentioned, and I don't blame you with the Red stuff, not wanting to play run line covers. I hate playing them.
Not with the home team.
Anyway,
I'll do it with the road
just
team.
Do it a donkey parlay. Mets plus Reds money line. Talk about square donkey stuff.
Ooh, that's ugly. What's the price on that?
I think it was like 140. Hold on, I actually have it right here. It was. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It was 108. I got 108
minus 108.
No,
you can get 115 on BetMGM.
Okay. But yeah, that's where you're probably around plus 110 if you go Mets plus Reds for the straight up wins. But I think there's a 3-phase edge, right? The Pirates offense really kind of blows. We don't need Senga to strike out 1 million guys. Let him get 100 ground balls. The Pirates offense really kind of stinks. And I'm not sure if the lineup is out yet, but O'Neal Cruz banged up. Without O'Neal Cruz, dude, this lineup blows.
That is a donkey if I've seen one. Mets and Reds money line parlay plus 115. Guarantee you there's a lot of viewers rushing to their phone for that one.
Yeah. The same people chasing those home run calls you were talking about with Matty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Toast, it's only Mets minus 1.5 for pass for me. I'm not betting it. What do you think, Toast?
I mean, I'm not going to argue Mets minus 1.5, especially with the Pittsburgh bullpen situation, but I'd be lying to everybody if I didn't say that I really wanted to bet the Pirates in the first 5 today.
The guys on the Discord are on that. Charles is on that. They got plus 170 last night.
The first 5 is plus 206. I got.
Yeah, I was going to say
it moved against them.
It keeps on going. I can get plus 180 right now.
My bookie has a plus 206 live.
You're really going to take this?
I haven't yet. I don't know.
I'll put it on the screen.
Oh yeah, you can put it on the screen. Mitch Keller has very, very good numbers versus this Mets offense. Last year and the year before that, 15 total innings. I mean, there's really nobody on this Mets lineup that has really smashed him, really, besides Soto at like 3 hits and 9 at bats or something like that. I am on Soto hits, runs, and RBIs because he is a lefty and he hasn't done anything for 2 days. But as far as the Pirates side, I mean, again, Senga's awesome. I think that he's one of the best pitchers in the league. Again, when you just throw up zeros like that and you're back-to-back starts versus Arizona, one of the best teams in the National League, in my head, this is just a sleepy spot for the Mets. The Mets coming off a walk-off yesterday. That game was really close. Again, it's more of a number for me, but I watched Mitch Keller's last 3 starts, and honestly, I've been pretty impressed. The Padres start was terrible, but on the road at LA and on the road at St. Louis was great. I lost my St. Louis bet first 5, or Pittsburgh first 5 in St. Louis. He gave up 3 hits. One was a blooper. One down the line that the defense didn't play well. I mean, I thought Mitch Keller pitched fantastic in St. Louis and on the road at Dodger Stadium. So I do think that he can win. I do think that he can pitch well here today. So maybe a first 5 under would be a better bet, but at that plus 190 price, it would only be Pirates first 5 for me.
These messages were brought to you by Bake Sharp Incorporated.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, we can't all bet the Mets minus 1.5.
Well done.
Yeah, we can't all win.
Nope, we can't.
All right, let's go on to the next one. That wasn't me, Toast. That was the comments. Several people requested the button for that pick.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
wasn't me.
It was a request. Nats Braves at minus. The next couple of games are ugly. We get to some better ones that I bet in a couple. Nats on the road in Atlanta. I was kind of thinking over last night. Schvelli's been a little bit vulnerable to lefty bats. The Nats are loaded up with lefty bats. Obviously, the Braves hitting against Soroka, a former Atlanta Brave, as well as a former Chicago White Sox. I don't know.
I did it.
You bet the over?
Nope.
What did you do?
I bet the Nationals plus 195 on the ML.
Why, dude?
It's so disgusting. I know it. But look, for me, the Braves aren't winning by margin. And they had another close game yesterday. Last 10 games, 1-run game, 1-run game, 1-run game, 1-run game, 1-1-1, 4-1-7. This team they're playing completely all close games every single time they go out there. Their offense can't do anything. Yes, Soroka is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But Schwelly hasn't been the same guy that we thought he was going to be coming into the year, and he's still being priced like this. So you're getting a Braves team that's priced with Schwellenbach and a Braves team that's usually pretty good, but they're not winning by margin. So I do think the back half of this game is a coin flip. And if the back half of this game is a coin flip, yes, the Washington bullpen sucks. I'll give you that. But you're not going to have Iglesias. Dylan Lee's 2 of the last 3 days. Hernandez is 2 of the last 3 days. I mean, I don't really know what you're going to see from Atlanta in the back half of this game, which makes me even believe this game is going to be even more of a coin flip later on in the game. So if you're going to give me plus 190 for the Nationals against a Braves team that, like I said, over the last 10 games or 2 weeks, they're playing 1-run games every single game. Yes, I'm going to take the coin flip at plus 190.
I'm not going to lie. This Braves bullpen is a little bit vulnerable. I'd be more interested in an over or a Nats team total over, though. John, what are your thoughts on the Braves bullpen, Schvelli? Can the Nats score on Schvelli?
No, but they may not need to get to the over because the back of those bullpens are such a disaster. You mentioned it. I mean, Iglesias is straight up unavailable. Back-to-back, and it was 28 pitches. He is not going. And Hernandez, who's also been good, the 2 out of 3, but it's 44 pitches. He's not going either. They're cooked. They're cooked. I'm on the other side, but like I said, it's very specifically an F5 under, also because it hung at 4.5, though you can see that starting to get juiced. That may close at 4 in the next hour or so.
I think it's already at 4 because the graphic I made is 4. So it looks like it was already. I think it might already be at 4. Let me see.
I have my bookie again. It's when you start seeing you can get a 4 and a 5 is minus 122. So once the unders are at minus 122, minus 125, they're all getting ready to shift. So
I misspoke. It's 4.5 you can get.
Yeah, well, 6 and 1/2 in the other. The one thing I'd like to push back on, which is something again, why I love taking my time now and popping the hood on these guys. Mike Soroka, definitely due for some positive regression. Listen, the ERA is through the roof. I get it. That said, 7.2 ERA, right? But, big shaking ass. The expected ERA is 3.3. The Sierra is 3.3. 25.5 K to 7 walk yield. 19 KBB, 32 CSW, 32 ball, 71st strike. Those are really good. Plus 52 ground ball, 25 hard hit, and 0 barrels allowed. 0 barrels allowed. He has... His homer to fly ball rate is in the double digits. He's not even allowing fly balls. He throws the 4-seamer a little too much. It's coming in at 42% use, which is a little too high. That's it. He's been very unlucky, and that slider he's throwing now is fantastic. Schwellenbach is absolutely fine. I get more questions about him for fantasy and betting than maybe anybody right now. His 4-seamer is not just pure sex. It's actually improved from last year. The shape is better, the extension is up, and the whiff rate is up. He's fine. The slider, the split finger, and the curveball all have a 33% whiff. He's fine. Both of these teams absolutely suck on offense right now. 2 of the worst teams last week. The Braves, guys, the Braves have a 65 WRC plus the last 6 weeks. That's almost 300 plate appearances to a 285 OBP. They're dead last in chase. They're dead last in zone contact. 265 WOBA is modeling out for what? You figure like 3.5 runs, 3.25 runs. Nats offense, not really good either. Yeah, I get they've got the lefties, but give me Schwellenbach all day. I think this one's under 4.5 solidly, but I wouldn't touch the under on the full game. I don't care what the freaking price is. I wouldn't touch it live no matter what the price is because this one could end up in the double digits as a 1-0 game through 5.
I can get an 8 juiced on Bet365 right now. I'm taking
Under 8?
over 8.
Oh, over 8. Over 8.
I'm glad.
Well, why wouldn't you just go live, though? To me, if you want this one over, to me, this one's live. You might get like a 4.5.
Because I think the Braves might put 6 on Soroka in the first inning, John.
Oh,
I don't know.
Stop, you.
Stop it. John
Who's
just
the
told you
Braves
his
hit?
fourth. John just told you
heard
his
what he
fourth
said.
is sex. Braves
Dude,
can't hit a
get back
fastball
up
to
2
save their
weeks.
life.
The Braves are so bad against righties right now. I just don't see them going nuts. Even if they got the 2 or 3, we can still get the other 5.
So John just told you his 4-seam is sex.
Oh, the Squelly 4. Oh, he's so good. Don't mess with my boy. He's so good.
Oh, never mind. You can't get
you
the
will not
8.
be spurching.
It's only 8.5. You can't get the 8.
Oh.
I lied. Damn it! I can't get the 8.
You want that? That's a big run too.
It's a huge run.
Yep.
So I'm going to put a disclaimer. So those of you in the Discord, you'll see it. May live bet the over. Putting that here. I will tag everyone in there if I actually do it. I may do a live bet on the over here, depending on how this shakes out. All right, let's move on to the next one. John just told you his 4-seam fastball is sex.
It is so hot. I have a boner.
Wow. Fisher and Wrigley. John, what are your thoughts on Mr. Belloso making a road start here in Wrigley?
Vicente Balozzo. Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo. Yeah, Miami's on the road against Ben Brown, who, I don't know, we keep waiting for this, like, damn breakout. And you can see what it was under the hood for Brown. It's really been a heavy split thing. I don't know if you guys noticed this. So, Ben Brown, ERA at home, 7.9. Ben Brown, ERA on the road, 1.9. It's been a big difference. He's really struggled to pitch in Wrigley. That said, the weather should be a good help for him today. It's a little hot and humid, but the wind is blowing straight in, and Miami's offense kind of blows. Belloso also just went 5 1/3 scoreless innings against the Dodgers.
He was awesome.
I probably want to sell the rip on that because his 4-seamer is garbage, that cutter is garbage, and when you put it together, what do you got? Not just bibbity bobbity boop, but it's like a 66% use rate. When just a fastball, you can call it a fastball bin, the fastball basket, however you want to look at it. He's combining 2 really bad pitches to account for 2/3 of it. Cubs offense really been on the struggle bus. You know, I mean, you could really start backing it up. The L7 is gross. The last 2 weeks versus righties, they're only batting .229. Now Ian Happ to the IL. Cubs offense starting to hiccup a little bit. So I didn't bet this one because I do think the Cubs win. And like I took them in my survivor pool, but I would never pay the juice for them.
No,
also, Porter Hodge is not going to be available. And it's not like the bullpen is, oh, actually, you know what? Man, he was off yesterday. I had him as 2
No. It's Palencia and Pomeranz.
Right, Palencia and Pomeranz. That was yesterday with Hodge. So maybe, I guess, if Hodge is available, then you can feel a little more confident in the Cubs win. But I don't want to pay this juice. It's really taxed.
I would only just go same thing as yesterday, under a pass, wind blowing in at Wrigley. I know that hasn't worked out this season, but in past seasons, wind blowing in at Wrigley has been extremely profitable. Just blind betting under.
Bullpen. Yikes, man.
Yeah, I can't do it because this year has been different. In fact, the overs hit more frequently at Wrigley than any other ballpark in baseball this year. But in previous years, wind blowing in at Wrigley, just blind bet the over and you'll turn a nice profit on the season. Under pass, no interest, to be honest. Belloso, what's the matter for you? Toast.
It would only be Miami for me. But you'll
only be Miami. Why?
Well, you guys just talked about it. I don't think Belloso's been that bad. I mean, to be honest, I mean, he's had a few Pittsburgh, Mets, Oakland, Dodgers. I mean, he's performed pretty well, regardless of what the peripherals look like. I mean, it's not like, again, I don't really feel like this Cubs team I'm really worried about. They had, one huge inning yesterday, and that was pretty much it. And then that was all the scoring that they've done. So I'm just not in a spot where I am in love with this Cubs offense right now, especially being priced at -200. The only thing is that I don't really like the fact, I don't know what to expect from Ben Brown. That's the thing. Like, I'm kind of high on this guy. I do think that his splits are, home and road splits are I mean, I guess to be determined in my book. I mean, a home starts versus Arizona, Philadelphia, and the Padres and the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, and the Giants, that Giants game after they had lost the previous 2 games. So it was only a matter of time. I guess I just don't know what to expect from Brent Brown. So I don't feel like he should be that big of a favorite. And then, like you guys talked about, the Cubs bullpen, who's already not that good over the last month in baseball. I mean, they're maybe a top 20 unit in the league. And you have 2 of your top 4 guys working 2 of the last 3 days, and then Porter Hodge, he had the day off yesterday, but he worked Saturday and Sunday. So, yep. And Presley hasn't been really good either. There's just a lot of question marks here for the Cubs, especially late in this ball game for me. So it would only be Miami. There's no way in hell I'd pay that price with Chicago.
Yeah, someone brought it up 12 minutes ago. Jason Tatum torn Achilles. So obviously out for the season. And
that was rough to see. I'm a Knicks fan too, so I was digging the end of the game. The Knicks played tough, wire to wire.
He was so good in that game too.
Yeah, he was right, and it sucks, man. I'm not a Celtics guy, could care less, but like he was fucking writhing in pain. I felt really bad.
Yeah, that's serious. That's something where like next season is.
He's in question, no doubt, right? Because of the
also for the comments, I have played 1 underdog today, so I don't know where this idea that I'm playing all these underdogs. I didn't bet Miami. The only underdog that I actually bet was Washington.
Rockies on the road in Arlington. Dude, Jack Leiter's not been good, John. I will say. So we're talking about 3 shaky starts in a row for Jack Leiter after Toast tried telling us he was a Cy Young candidate. 3 shaky starts in a row.
Catching strays.
So 3.
Yo, this is my life. You know what happens when the world has a good day and the Padres have a bad day? That's all they get. I get for 24 hours. I just get shit thrown at the wall. Just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
Well, I'm just saying. You tried to talk. You told us how good
he's very good.
Hold on. I wanted to just bring something up. This keeps getting shared in the Discord.
Let's go to the bullpens. Well, we already know the Padres are the best bullpen in baseball. So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
All right. So Jack Leiter, 3 shaky starts in a row. If there was ever a spot for him to get his shit right, though, it's a home start against the Rockies. So last night I said under or pass in this game. That would have hit. I originally said under or pass last night, but then I switched. I kind of think Jack Leiter, it's a buy low spot on him. I think that the Rangers might cover the run line, but it's another game with an ugly, huge home favorite where I don't want to pull the trigger. We're coming up on some games I did bet. This is 3 in a row on the slate that is just really ugly numbers.
I just got to say, I have no bet in this game, but Modi has a home run play in McMahon, and then Lindy has a home run play on McMahon, Goodman, and Togula. So, wow. For whatever that's worth to anybody, I didn't bet this game. I wasn't going to bet it anyway, and then I saw Lindy give all those 3 home runs out for those 3 Rockies, and it made me have no idea what to do. So, I do think that Jack Leiter's very good. Yes, he's been shaky. He's a young arm. He's been dealing with some control issues, but I don't think the Rockies are going to be the one to punish him for that. That being said, there's no chance in hell I pay this price for Texas. So, I don't even know what to do in this game. Honestly.
No, I see. The Rangers' bats were showing signs of life. They had 1 shaky game. That's it. If you take out that one, they have been hitting. Actually, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hit or miss. And that's where it's like, I expect them to get a couple.
No, because I was about to say they're starting to get, and then I was like to righty starters, and I was like, wait a second, Freeland throws with his left hand.
No, I know what you meant, but I was also looking at that too because I was looking at their just game logs in general. And it's so hit or miss. It's just like flipping a coin to see which Rangers offense you're going to get. Because if they start to score, they're going to score 6 or 8. But if they don't score, they score 1 or 2. And it's just really hard.
Mr. Legeza, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't pay it, but this is probably a donkey bet. I do like Texas. I actually do think they get to the cover. My boy Berger is back. And I think he's in the get-right spot. I always liked Jake Berger. I know they had to demote him, but he's kind of crushed lefties in the past. Freeland's just been awful. He's given up 14 earned in his last 13 and a third. He keeps featuring that sinker that sucks, and he's been lucky on it. I will give him the sweeper and the curve is not the worst combo. That said, the four-seamer, the cutter, the change all fail miserably, and you wonder why a pitcher that's pitching so poorly would have 4 bad pitches. Like, pull it, you could throttle that. You don't need, having 7 pitches isn't necessarily a good thing if they're not any good. Now, the Leiter, man, I'm inclined to kind of buy the dip. The fastball looks really good. The velo is there. The spin is there. The movement is there. And that slider is a sick wipeout pitch. he's just hung the changeup in the curve. Yeah, he throws a curve to lefties only, but the changeup in the curve, he's missed with the location. I'm going to hope that it's enough that he's got the stuff to get past the Rockies, who on the road are fucking atrocious.
And
They're
at home.
atrocious. And, you know, it's true. They're just so bad that I think they have the sticks to get it done because our boy Langford is back. Simeon's actually shown some life as of late. And again, my boy Berger and Josh Smith has been good as of late. So I just think they have enough to get it done. Not that it takes much to beat the Rockies. Again, I didn't touch this one because it feels like if you swing at the Rangers and miss on this, you're going to feel like an idiot if Leiter gets touched up. So I was almost inclined to say over or nothing, but I ended up putting this in the garbage pile.
Now let's move on to the next game. A game I did bet. Kansas City on the road in Houston. Bubic is on the mound, who has been very good. I'm not going to try to take away credit from Bubic. That being said, I will poke some holes in what he's done, specifically the strength of schedule. I'm going to pull it all up on the screen for you in a second. The bet that I placed here, Houston team total over 3.5. So I'm on Houston team total over 3.5. Now, I know Bubic numbers look great, but let's actually take a closer look at his production here. So here's Bubic game logs right here on the screen. Let me move this over so you can see it a little better. Okay, so here's Bubic game logs right here on the screen. You can see 3 of his last 4 starts, 7 shutout, 5 shutout, 7 shutout, 6 2/3 shutout, 6 shutout. Outstanding. But against who? Remember, Bubic throws with his left hand. You got the White Sox, maybe the worst thing ever. Baltimore, probably the worst lineup in baseball against lefties. Then you got Houston. He just pitched against Houston. They got to him. 8 base runners and 4 runs. Before that, 7 shutout. Oh, at home against the Rockies. Congrats. I'm not throwing you a parade for that. Before that, the Yankees. They got to him. 11 base runners, 3 earned runs. Then Cleveland. Cleveland can't really hit lefties. But either way, Cleveland did make a little bit of noise. 6 shutout, 6 2/3 shutout. Baltimore again. Milwaukee, they can't hit lefties. So this dude has had a cakewalk of a schedule so far this year. The only time he saw lineups that I consider to be dangerous lineups against lefties be right here against the Yankees. Yankees sparked them. And then Houston. And Houston scored 4 runs on them. So, I mean, this Astros lineup, let's go over here, scroll up. At home, last 30 days, they're 3rd in baseball in WRC plus at home. Against lefties, they're 10th in the last 30 days, so not explosive. But these Astros bats are hitting. They're hitting at home. This is a sell high spot on Bubic. I don't love taking these team totals with the home team because you might get robbed of the 9th inning. That's always a possibility. But I think the Astros are able to get a few across on Bubic here. I'm not a huge fan of the Royals bullpen either. But Estevez and Ursig both pitched last night, so the Houston did just see the main arms. So in the event that the Royals have a 3-2 lead late, obviously, which isn't good for us, but if that's the case, we're going to get the 9th inning for the Astros, and we're going to get the 9th inning for the Astros against an arm they just saw last night. So I think all arrows point to the Astros putting up some runs. You can still get this at -140, so it hasn't moved dramatically, but this is my bet. Astros team total over 3.5.
I know that there's some conversation about Yordan Alvarez being back or not being back. He's off the IL. He's not playing today. But that shouldn't stop you from worrying. I mean,
he's a left. Like, that's not one of the bats. Yeah.
Well, it's because they're talking about because he had 3 RBIs in the last time that they played, and so that's what they're saying is.
Oh, okay.
Or that's what I read.
That's a good point then. Okay.
But Jeremy Pena had 3 RBIs as well. So again, it's people are getting on base, and if the Astros are getting hit, somebody's going to score and get RBIs. That's all that really matters to me. So, but to Kyle's point, I just feel like you're getting a discount being able to fade Bubic with this team total, a guy who hasn't given up a run in 3 of his last 4 starts, and the only time he gave runs up was to Houston. But again, Houston versus lefty starters, I mean, Bubic and Kyle Hart, that's 15 hits. I mean, going back, I mean, their last 2 that they've seen. Obviously, the 2 before that weren't really well, but that was even earlier in the season. But again, a little bit of a compromised Kansas City bullpen and an Astros team that's been playing much better at home. I played the team total 3.5 as well. So
it looks like John's against us here because I see a first 5 under graphic.
Yeah, I'm making my sour face because I'm just not buying it. I really like both of these guys, and I don't like either offense. That said, at 3.5, you're pretty much always live. Kyle, you really got me though, because what I was like squinting at was, what is there to not like in the Royals bullpen? How about this? Between Urseg, Daniel Lynch, John Schreiber, Steven Cruz, that's relievers 2 through 5. maximum 1.6 ERA. Erceg and Lynch have a sub-1 ERA. Then you have Estevez pitching to a 2.37. Their bullpen's been pretty awesome. Now, as far as Bubic goes, if you're trying to sell me on just natural regression, yo, I hear you barking, dog. Because a 169 ERA probably not going to hang. That said, the indicators are beautiful. He checks all the boxes. I mean, command, control, cold strikes, getting over. He induces chases. He wins in the zone. He suppresses hard contact. He doesn't give up fly balls. The ones he does are all pop-ups. And I especially like a guy like Bubic because, well, one, we have to start giving Kansas City their credit for what they're doing with these relievers that they're turning not just into like serviceable pitchers. We're talking about like frontline stars. They plucked Reagans from Texas for a bag of oranges. This guy's a frontline starter. Bubic was really an afterthought for the entire league, and now this guy looks phenomenal. Even though he only sits 92, be careful not to grade four-seamers just on the velo, because it's shape, it's spin, and he's very good at throwing it up, right? So you get that rising fastball effect that he's good up and out of the zone. Plus that sweeper is colon collapsing, and he's got a changeup that he can throw to righties as an out pitch. I'm just on the under. Again, maybe he gets stretched and he only gets 5-6 and you get your runs in the underbelly. So I'm not really like puking at the thought of 3.5. I wouldn't go to 4.5. But also Valdez has been damn good. Also, again, these sinker first guys, it is what it is. You know, if you're into the spreadsheet stuff, you're never going to love the sinker crap. He's throwing it probably 50% of the time. That said, in Framber's defense, the curveball, the changeup, and the slider, all of a 30% whiff rate. When Framber wants to go for those swings and misses, he could get them, but he's always going to be a slave to the BABIP gods. So I didn't bet the under 4 because I was praying this thing would get to U4.5, but the offenses are not fooling anybody. I also like Goose, though, yesterday. He got robbed on a strike 3 that led to a big inning. So maybe this is what gets the Astros going. Like the bounce back from yesterday. I don't know. I'm under the 4, if anything.
Can I just say one retort to the Bubic thing? I get that his numbers look good, but let's just keep in mind that he has starts against the White Sox, Baltimore, Colorado, Baltimore again. So, again, I just think that's always going to help him.
Yeah, I mean, you can only play who's on the schedule.
I get that. I'm just saying that if we're taking everything into consideration, that's what I thought in my head.
But this isn't like a lefty mashing team either. If we
I get it.
Yeah. If it was a team that killed lefties like the Cubs a few weeks ago, man, I'd probably be pumping the brakes.
Yeah, or the Dodgers.
Houston's not scaring anybody, though, to that, because you guys are always mentioning the handedness, which, again, is very sharp. Houston's rolling with 9 righties. You see that?
Yep. I did.
We
talked about that last night.
The last lefty the Astros saw was Chris Bubic. They scored 4 runs on him in 5.
Yeah, they got to him. Yeah.
And they destroyed Kyle Hart, too, for 10
And
hits.
that was in Kansas City, too. Now they're in the teacup back home. What is it called, Toast?
The juice box?
The juice box, yeah.
Yeah, I heard the teacup. I was like, what the fuck?
That's what Kyle calls it. I just let it go.
I started thinking about, like, spinning. I'm like, I didn't get that at all. The juice box, the Trump, I thought it was, Minute Maid. I thought that was
the juice box. Oh, okay. The juice, right, because the Minute Maid.
Right.
I keep messing it up, the teacup.
I thought you did it on purpose, to be honest. That's why I never say anything.
No, it's like in my head now where I go to say it and I don't know which one's the real one or which one's the incorrect one.
That's me with Rondon.
It's Rondon.
I know. I'm just saying.
All right, so I bet this next game, and I'm just going to play it preemptively.
These messages were brought to you by Fake Sharp Incorporated.
I'm a fake sharp and a half for this. I don't even have the strongest reasoning for liking it. That being said, I have a full unit on the Mariners money line at plus 120. I mean, I'll show you why.
Reasons. Yes, thank you.
They're thin. All right, so I am on the Mariners money line, and it's a. I think it's a sell high on Fried. First of all, what I said about the Yankee bats last night was people have a short memory when it comes to the Yankees. I mean, they could score 0 runs 5 straight games and then score 10, and people are like the Yankees offense is unstoppable. They have a very short memory when it comes to the Yankee lineup. So the idea that the Yankee lineup would struggle to get to Woo, it's not that crazy. Woo's pretty good. But really, what I'm pointing at is Max Fried. I'm not overly impressed with who he's seen. How many lineups on this list can hit left-handed pitching? I mean, Padres is a nice start. You got the Rays twice. They're like the worst lineup in baseball against lefty. They're like one of the worst lineups in baseball, period. The Royals haven't been hitting, and this is back in mid-April where they really weren't hitting. The Tigers are more lined up against righties, not the lefties. The Pirates, the Brewers back, that was like on opening day. Just not overly impressed with this body of work here for Fried. He's been excellent, but he hasn't really pitched against any dangerous lineups. I really think the Mariners in Seattle might be his toughest test of the year. This is in the last 30 days. This is a top 10 lineup against lefties. This is a top 5 lineup at home in the last 30 days. Top 5 lineup period in the last 30 days. So this is just such a step up in class for anything we've seen for Max Fried so far this year. Not to mention, are we going to pretend like the Mariners don't have the significant advantage in the second half of the game? Significantly better bullpen here. So I know the idea is Max Fried so much better than Brian Wu. But the way I'm looking at it, I think the starting pitching matchup, if you take into consideration the lineups, I think it's closer than you would think. I like Wu. He's good. So I think both starting pitchers could put out a decent or an even performance here. I had the advantage in the bullpen. The Mariners' bats has been as good as anyone. I know. I'm on it. Seattle money line. John?
No, that's all good. Again, we're in line. I lean more towards the F5 under again. Both these guys are humming. Listen, I do enough modeling that, again, if you're selling me on natural regression, these things being unsustainable, then I have a hard time arguing. That said, Max Fried has given up 6 earned runs in nearly 52 innings of work. He's been phenomenal. That curveball is just insane, and the four-seamer has been really good. Though, I think this leads to your point, Kyle, he's been a little bit fortunate as far as contact goes. So when I make these notes, like, again, I don't want people to just think, oh, John said he's lucky. I'm making a shorthand note for generally describes at least a 100-point difference in output slug to input X slug, right? You know what I'm saying? Expected to actual slug. So there is a very good case. That said, I still think he's really good. I just think we're on the under. I actually like the Seattle F5. I've been one of those donkeys that have been afraid to kind of go up against the Yankee bats. When I want to go against the Yankees, I normally look at strikeout props. As far as Wu goes, dude, under the hood, he's amazing. This kid is freaking amazing. The four-seamer sits at 96, amazing shape, good RPM. He's got a top-flight extension. He throws it a bit too much, but you know what? When you're going to get whiffs on it like that, be able to work it up in the zone and use it off the slider and the sweeper, which are both like legit plus pitches. We're talking like sub 325 X lug with top-tier whiff rates. Brian Wu is fantastic. So you never have to twist my arm to back a really good pitcher. I think maybe they busted their load with the scoring yesterday, so that's why I was looking at the F5 U4. But sure, give me Seattle 2-1 through 5. I'm sold.
Oh, I'm on the full game.
Either way, man, I just don't do that. I don't really go under because of the stupid ghost runners. Like I'm always reticent.
Oh no, I'm talking about Seattle, not the total.
No, I'm saying in general the under. If we like unders, I generally keep my unders to F5, not the full game, because I like to avoid bullpens. But I think they're both rested, and both bullpens have been okay. I think Seattle has the edge in the back half of the game, like you mentioned, because Devin Williams has been just a throw ride.
Toast, I don't even remember what you took last night on this game.
Mariners versus Seattle equals overs.
Oh,
over 7.
Right. Yep. It's at 7.5. You can't get 7 anymore. It's at 7.5 now.
Okay. Well, yeah. Over. I really like the 7. Yeah. Just to Kyle's point about Max Fried.
I'm sorry. You can still get a 7 on Caesars. It looks like it's a minus 115. You could still. Oh no,
dude, you gotta love a straight 7 because that's a 3-3. 3 plus 3 equals 7, right? Get both teams to 3. You have your 7, and at least I like that.
You can get a 7 115 right now on Caesars.
So again, I play overs mostly in this series just because it always seems these teams, especially when Seattle plays the Yankees, I mean, there just always seems to be high scoring games. Obviously, last night 11-5 was sweat free, but as far as Max Fried goes, yes, he's been very, very good. He also has a lot of his starts on the road are at home. He has 3 starts on the road. Obviously, Tampa Bay was a really good start. All of them were really good starts. But again, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, I mean, that competition is night and day difference to the Seattle team, who not only has been hitting at home, but they've also been hitting left-handed pitching so far this year as well. They're one of the, I mean, Seattle top 10 lineup in Major League Baseball versus left-handed pitching this season. So Jeffrey Springs and Patrick Corbin pitched well against them. I mean, I guess Tyler Anderson did as well, but they had a long stretch where they were really killing lefty starters. So I do think that, like Kyle said, and I think we said this last night, that this is by far the biggest test that Max Fried is going to have so far this year. And as far as the Yankees bats are concerned, they're in Seattle. I'm not really worried about it. The Yankees are the best road offense in Major League Baseball, not to mention the fact they absolutely slaughtered Brian Wu last year when they came to Seattle. 4 2/3 innings for Brian Wu, 9 hits, 7 runs. He did blank the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, but I don't think it really matters. I just thought that 7 was too low for this game. I had it modeled around 8, so over 7 for me.
All right. Next game. Angels. Oh, this is hilarious. All right, Angels, Padres. Real quick, just wanted to bring up a clip.
Let's go to the bullpens. Well, we already know the Padres are the best bullpen in baseball. So
that'll never get old. So, Toast, what are your thoughts on the Padres bullpen? Do you have any thoughts on them?
They are the best bullpen in baseball, and there's a reason they're a top 3 team in baseball right now. So
you're going to die on that hill.
There's nothing to die on. What am I?
Oh, you died last night.
One bad game from the best closer in baseball. He had 1 bad inning, and now what am I supposed to do? Worry about it?
Yeah, I'd be worried.
Yeah,
I'm worried for you.
Worried about the Padres bullpen.
What do you think of Cease here?
I don't want to deal with Cease. Padres team total over 4.5 at plus money. I think they absolutely come out and destroy Soriano personally. So,
you say plus 120?
Plus 105. So, yeah, I think they absolutely destroy him today. I don't really want to deal with Cease. Just not a big Cease guy personally. But I do think that Soriano really is going to struggle here today. A decent amount of lefties in there, but regardless, I mean, this Padres offense is just really, really good right now, and they're really humming, and I'm not going to worry about what happened last night and all that stuff. It really doesn't affect me at all. So Padres team total over 4.5 at plus money. Jackson Merrill over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Rinse and repeat.
John, before you share your thoughts on the game, what are your thoughts on the Padres bullpen?
Well, I do think they're pretty good. I think
I want you to say, where are they? Top 5?
Oh, they got to be a top 5 pen.
Top 20.
They got top 20.
Don't worry, I'm taking notes, John. So go ahead, say what you got to say.
You know, they have a couple of blow-ups, which have kind of had some of the overall stats right. I often talk about that. I put that up in my Substack. Mm-hmm. You got to be very careful with overall bullpen stats because it almost always takes more of a nuanced hand. So yes, you could be referring to the last 2 weeks. The Padres, the last 39 innings, they have a 7.6 ERA and a 1.5 whip, double-digit walk rate, 46 fly ball, 12% barrel, 2 homer 9. That's really gross. That said, on the season, 3.25 ERA across 144 innings to a 1.11 whip, 2.05 batting average allowed. This is a really good bullpen.
Before last night, there was one guy in the Padres bullpen with an ERA over 3. One.
Yeah,
and now
I'm
Suarez is
interested to
at
see how
3.
how they get managed off of the struggle. Like I would imagine Suarez 33 pitches yesterday is going to be unavailable. Estrada was the only guy to go to 20, but they did kind of run through everybody. So I'll be interested to see how they go. I had this one blank, but I think I might want to tail our guy Toast here because I was leaning towards the over 7.5. But I really liked what I saw from Cease under the hood. So why rely on the Angels to score? So you can put me down with Toast to go over the Padres team total. Soriano, listen, Soriano is not a bad pitcher. The problem here is the Angels organization. Okay, we mentioned this with Kikuchi. I don't know if their whole thing is just like, yo, guys, yo, man, analytics are stupid, man. Yo, look inside yourself, bro. Search your soul for your pitch mix. You know, maybe the guy's like, yo, Skip, should I be throwing the sinker more? Yo, man, you got to, do what feels good, bro.
Yo, man. Yo,
man. Again, when you look at Soriano, first of all, the guy throws 97. You know, so you're like, that's pretty impressive. He has a 62% ground ball rate. And you're like, okay, we should be able to work with this. That said, 3 earned runs in 4 of the last 5. Yes, the sinker's at 96 and they're in love with it. It gets hit really hard. Like, just because you have velo doesn't mean he's throwing it more than 49% of the time. So
Toronto destroyed him.
Been that. When you look at the secondary stuff, it's really good. The curveball, the splitter, and the slider have a 30% whiff. 2 of them are above 50. He has multiple pitches with a 50% whiff rate, but he doesn't throw them. He just pounds the sinker and relies on BABIP. And again, it's not a great pitch. He could just throw it hard. It's got he has a 49% hard hit rate. Yes, he's failed in the BABIP thing, which could regress for him. But, when your zone contact is up in the 90s, you're not fooling anybody. So, yeah, I like the Padres offense right now. Again, getting Merrill back, who's like a god-tier freaking talent. And even I know Jake the Snake is not like a world beater, but having Cronenworth in the 6 or the 7 hole opposed to, insert random quad A guy here, Tirso Ornelas or Oscar Gonzalez, it makes a big difference. So yeah, I really like San Diego, and the Angels bullpen is a freaking disaster.
Yeah,
how about
John.
this? Last 40 innings, hold on, they have 11.25 ERA. Their bullpen, guys, has a 361 batting average allowed in the last 40 innings. Like, how is that even a thing? Yeah, give me the Padres to score all the runs.
Yeah, I'll put it back up. This gets shared in our Discord all the time.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, my God. Oh, that is just amazing.
Someone made that.
Amazing.
One of the guys, Rep the 315 in our Discord, made that, and it's just it gets shared all the time.
I knew you looked familiar. I knew it.
People say I look like Luka Doncic.
What I don't understand is I think you go over here if you're going to bet this one. I joke.
Yeah, that's who I'm on it. Sure.
Dude, I feel like, and this is not analytically based. This is probably some bullshit what I'm about to say, but dude, I feel like Dylan Cease is one of those guys. He's like Aaron Nola. Like, he's on the road, plus 140 against the Dodgers. He's going to show up. But then at home, minus 220 against the Angels. That's where he gets rocked.
Oh, no, you're spot on. You are spot on.
He's one of those guys.
Yes.
Where
yes.
Hold on, I actually give you the analytical case. The analytical case for the over is the Angels are doing the big-time sellout thing. So this is 384 plate appearances versus righties last 2 weeks. They're bottom 3 in Ks. They're bottom 3 in swinging strikes. But. They are top 3 in pull rate. They're top 5 in barrel rate. They have a 4.05 expected WOBA to contact. So it's all sellout. And Cease is perfectly fine giving up home runs because again, the thing that I love about Cease is they're putting the slider first. That slider is a really good pitch. That said, he's another guy in love with the velo on the four-seamer, but he challenges the zone. He misses down sometimes around the letters, and he gets yoked. So if you told me Cease had 9 strikeouts but gave up 2 home runs, I believe that. So I think the over is a good.
Well, on top of the fact that we know with Dylan Cease is that he likes to give guys free passes with but walks.
I know, too. And dude, when you walk and have home runs,
exactly,
that's to be an issue. Yeah,
that's why I didn't want to play on San Diego. So
yep,
John, you should. You know how you said Jackson Merrill's a god? You should look at my Twitter. I did some research. You'd be really surprised on how good Jackson Merrill has been.
It's
you don't have, dude. You look at my Twitter. It's under my guy because I do fantasy stuff. So certain guys earn the my guy label, like the guy that we're paying up for. We want him in the early second round. You want Jackson Merrill on every one of your teams, dude. Or he's a pulled fly ball god.
Since June 8th of last year, only Judge and Ohtani are better hitters in Major League Baseball than Jackson.
Yeah, I hear you, Bark, and I said it on my show today.
That's a fact, Kyle. There's no moving your head. That is a fact.
Okay, since June 8th, the cherry-picked random-ass date that don't mean shit.
Like, a year and a half ago, yes, cherry-picked.
June 8th, not June 6th, June 8th. That's some cherry-picked shit.
Let's just use June 6th, too, when he started to play.
Cherry pick, bro. Anyone who cherry pick numbers is trying to
never get on your bad side, bro.
Anyone who's cherry picks numbers is trying to sell you some bullshit. Fact in any aspect of life. Arizona on the road at San Francisco. John, do you agree? Oh, actually, you didn't hear. So Toast is like really big on, and I'm not saying I like blindly disagree with them. I just think he's taking a little bit far with the quote unquote Robbie Ray's all the way back shit. I think he's drinking the Kool-Aid a bit much here. So. What are your thoughts on Robbie Ray? Is he back?
Give me San Francisco to win this game because Robbie Ray is all the way back.
Wow.
Okay?
Woo!
Robbie Ray all the way back. Pop the hood on Robbie Ray. Quality starts each of the last 3. Now, this is an interesting one. He has a money start in 2 of the last 3. I invented this. I actually got nominated for some nerdy award because quality starts are stupid, right? 6 innings and 3 earned runs is not really a benchmark for excellence, right? A 4 or 5 ERA is not anything to write home about. So when I set new parameters for a money start, 7 innings minimum, 2 earned runs maximum, right? So if you go 7 and 2 that's a great fucking start. Those are the ones we want to sink our teeth into. Rays, 2 of 3 money starts. The 4-seamer is fantastic. It's back. All the shape, the velo, the extension, the arm angle, everything's good. He throws it a bit more than I'd like, but he's having success. The slider is fantastic. He's also using a changeup and a curve combination to lefties to induce tons of whiffs. He's been really excellent. Arizona offense is good. I don't want to knock him for that. That said, outside of Ketel Marte, they've started to show some warts against lefties. They put the ball on the ground a ton. I'm just not in love with it. The contact has not been great. 6% barrel on the year versus lefties. And Brandon Pfaadt, I was kind of a fan. I'm not loving it. The 4-seamer is not good, and you're going to lose me. Then he throws a sinker too much, and he's going to lose me. The sweeper and the change are both good pitches. So when Pfaadt is looking good, the fastballs are, he's spotting them low, and he's not getting tore up. I like the Giants today at the price at home. I also think they have a pretty big edge in the bullpens. They had guys go, but whatever. Walker had the day off. Duvall had the day off. Rogers went 2 days in a row. Maybe he's not available, but I'm out on the Arizona bullpen, at least until Justin Martinez gets back. He's been throwing. He should be back in a week or 2, but until they get him back, that bullpen's kind of sucky.
So is the Giants, John.
So, okay, these guys are all on board. It seems like...
Wait, what's that?
The Giants bullpen is terrible right now, too, just for the record.
Well, I tend to like Ryan Walker. I know. I guess maybe I have blind spots for guys. Yeah, you don't like Duvall? I feel like Duvall is good. Wait, do you hate? Is this Padre hate?
No,
right now,
that's not at all. No.
Hold on. Giants last 40 innings, 2.93 ERA, 115 whip, 203 batting average, half a homer 9. Like, they've been good.
So, okay, these guys are... Toast is on the first 5. He's scared of the Giants bullpen.
That's fair too.
I think you guys are both getting caught drinking the Kool-Aid here. Okay, Robbie Ray's been solid. He's been very good. Maybe he's back, but still, even if Robbie Ray is back, even if he is, I still don't know if I like the advantage for the Giants in the first 5 innings. Pfaadt's been good as hell. The Giants are not hitting. I mean, in the last 30 days, Giants are a bottom 10 lineup in baseball. Last 14 days, bottom 10 lineup in baseball. So
Mikey Stremski.
Don't say that on this show.
I love Yaz. The truth is the team's not hitting. And
lead off home run.
And by the way, Arizona's gotten to 3 lefties in a row. David Peterson, Ranger Suarez, Jesus Luzardo, 3 lefties in a row. Arizona's gotten to.
And they're good also. Those are quality pitchers.
Yes, good lefties. You incorporate the bats. Okay, maybe you're going to sell me on Robbie Ray's a better pitcher than Pfaadt. Honestly, I think I could debate you on it, but I'll give it to you. I'll concede that, okay, Robbie Ray's got the advantage over Brandon Pfaadt. You incorporate the lineup. I don't know. I don't even know if I like the advantage for the Giants early here. And then in the late innings, Arizona was able to pick up the win last night. They saved their bullpen. They used Shelby Miller. He only threw 9 pitches. So I think you guys are a little crazy on this one. I think you're drinking the Robbie Ray Kool-Aid. I think I'm getting the much better team with an even starting pitching advantage, better lineup, better everything. So I'd go right back to the Snakes. The Snakes, they won for me last night. That's where I'd go with it. I didn't bet this one because Toast is like so confident. Last night on the show, he was like
I
all
love
in.
the Giants too. I have to admit, I love the Giants too.
Oh, I love it. I've bet Robbie Ray. I bet Robbie Ray a couple of years ago to win the Cy Young for me. I mean, I love Robbie Ray. And like I've continued to say, even in the games in the beginning of the year when he was walking a whole bunch of guys and putting a whole bunch of people on base, guess what the common denominator was? Nobody was scoring runs. So sure. Yes, he was having control issues and he wasn't staying late into games. But regardless, nobody was scoring on Robbie Ray, even when he was having those control problems. And now all those control problems are gone. Was it nice that he got to face Texas and Colorado back-to-back starts? Yeah, but then he got a little bit of his bearings under him, and now he went out on the road to Chicago, which is a very good lineup, and looked fantastic. Yeah, I've been a proponent of this Arizona lineup getting much better versus lefty starters. I said that versus Luzardo. I said that versus Ranger Suarez as well, and I still believe that. But I also think that Robbie Ray is pitching extremely well right now. And I also wanted to fade Pfaadt off of kind of like a game of his life where he pitched very, very well against the Dodgers. Two back-to-back really big games for him against Philadelphia and the Dodgers. I just think if it's a little bit I don't really love the spot for Brandon Pfaadt. The Giants kind of got embarrassed a little bit yesterday. I really, really like San Diego. Also, by the way, Giants 8-0 when Robbie Ray starts a game this year.
Let's go.
All right, one more game left, and then we'll bring on the Big Nasty to give us. We got a major this weekend, guys. PGA Championship. So
Big Nasty paid me out this week.
4-0. He went 4-0 last week. Big Nasty's on a heater because he actually he had a bad week the week before that, so he came back throwing.
I didn't even know that. I mean, I tail every week. I make money every time. So if he had a bad week,
he went 1-4 the week before that, but he went 4-0 this last week. All right, last baseball game before we get to the PGA Championship. A's are on the road in LA. I mean, I know everyone has their concerns on Landon Knack. I haven't bet this one, but I still think this is affordable. I just think Dodgers are going to smoke Jeffrey Springs into another zip code. So even if you're not a Landon Knack guy, I just think the Dodgers are still going to cover this -1.5. I didn't bet this yet. This might be one I'm down to bet with everyone in the Discord later. It's the first pitch until 10:10 p.m. It doesn't look like the number's moving. I don't see any reason to rush it. Just doing some gambling late. I think I might bet this for fun later. John, what are your thoughts on this one?
I was modeled over the 9. That one looks like it moved to 9.5.
You can still get juice 9.
You can still get a 9
on the run line cover, or even money for the Dodgers to get to 6. I guess it depends what you think about the A's bullpen. They're all fully rested, and to a man, they're not bad. That said, they're riding the damn struggle bus lately, man. They've been terrible. They're at the point now where the last 2 weeks, the bullpen has a nearly 8 ERA on the season, 153 innings. They have a +5 ERA, and Springs blows. I was warning people preseason for fantasy to get away from Poland Springs. Again, this guy is forcing a 90-mile-an-hour four-seamer like over and over and over. It gets crushed. I do like the secondary stuff. The Athletics are another team that just hasn't shown that they're going to have pitchers just tweak the pitch mix, man. Maybe try and lead with the slider. That slider, the changeup, and the sweep are all really good pitches, but if you're going to be throwing a 90-mile-an-hour four-seamer down the middle over and over to the Dodgers, you're probably going to get beat up. I think Knack is a little bit better than he gets credit for.
Agreed.
That said, he's another guy. The Dodgers, I trust the Dodgers to be smarter than me. I don't understand why he's throwing the four-seamer so much. The usage on the four-seamer is 49%. That's really high when you have a curveball and a change that can both induce whiffs that are both good pitches. I don't know if I trust the Athletics offense right now. They're the WRC plus is good, but I think it can be misleading because when you pop the hood on that 7-day span where they have a 109 WRC plus, which is not bad, they're like dead last in walks. They're bottom 5 swing and strike. They're dead last in ground balls. They're not really hitting the ball hard. It's because they've gotten production. So WRC plus can be a little bit misleading. Athletics have a 333 BABIP, so they're getting on via batting average, but I don't know if I'm really buying it. I think the A's get freaking crushed today, man. Dodgers offense is. Listen, we knew. Oh, here we go. We knew that when they were struggling, we knew they were going to get up off the mat. You know what I mean? Oh no! You knew they were going to. You knew they were going to. And right now, when great teams come off of bad stretches, dude, I just get the freak out of the way. I think they're going to kill Springs. I think they're going to kill the Dodgers. Are a pop for highest scoring team today.
Someone asked Kyle, I'm going to the Dodgers game tonight. What is the model like? Model strongest lean is over. It's got
even over 9.5.
Yeah,
I was over the 9.
Yeah, mine has it up over 11. So.
Wow! Holy crap! That's awesome.
Yours has almost at 13.
Yeah, well, I mean, we depending on what number Charles put in for the ballpark, I don't know what he did. Like he might have done something crazy, so I just redid it. Toast, what do you like in this one? And then we'll get to the PGA Championship.
Dodgers first five team total over 2.5. Dodgers -1.5. The Dodgers versus lefty starters. I think that we've talked about it many times. If Kyle can pull it up really quick, cool. If not, I'll go through it really quickly.
I can pull it up.
Yeah, you're about to see on the screen. Not only have the Dodgers absolutely destroyed lefties, they've destroyed like the upper echelon lefties of Major League Baseball as well. You're going to see guys on this list like Chris Sale, Luzardo, Chris Sanchez, Mackenzie Gore, Matthew Boyd, Imanaga. That's pretty much the best. Tariq Skubal's on that list. They got to him as well. Anytime that the Dodgers have seen a lefty, good or bad, they have just essentially destroyed him. So the only thing that's like kind of a little bit holding me back, I'm still going to end up betting this game because a couple games got rained out, is the Dodgers are coming home from like a 12-game road trip where they went to Atlanta and Miami and then Arizona, and now they're finally back home. So maybe a little bit of a sleepy spot for the Dodgers, but again, versus a lefty, you just have to play it.
Dodgers in the last 30 days, best lineup in baseball against lefties, best home lineup in baseball, second best lineup in baseball overall. Pretty tough to argue with all those green ones on the spreadsheet. So,
you know what? I was listening to you and Matt earlier on. I know you guys don't do a ton of props, but hard not to like all the Will Smith stuff. I know he had him for a home run, but any kind of Will Smith, total bases, hit, run, ribby, whatever you got. Will Smith versus lefties this year has a 760 slug, a 1289 OPS, 18% barrel, 59% hard hit rate, a 471 xWOBA versus lefties on the year. Again, you mentioned that they're so good because they're lefties hit lefties. So Freeman and Ohtani can hit lefties, and then you have like Betts and Will Smith to worry about, even without Teoscar. Andy Pages has been awesome versus lefties. Yeah, Dodgers should kill.
I was going to say Ohtani, Freeman, Will Smith hit parlay is on my list, and Ohtani over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBI. Decoys 2 today, guys. Happy birthday to Ohtani's dog.
Decoy.
Oh
John,
my God! Now you know it's time to get out of here.
Before we go to the,
I did that on purpose.
Before we get to the PGA Championship, John, where can they find your stuff?
Appreciate everybody. Follow me up on Twitter at John Legaza. See the handle down there, JOHNLAGHEZZA. Then I'm streamlining all my work. I write at The Athletic. I write for Matthew Berry's newsletter. I also have the model and all these cool nerdy stats that I talk about. I do bets and full game F5 stuff, and yeah, check out the Substack and holler at your boy, man. It's always fun to interact with everybody on Twitter.
I tagged him in the tweet, so if you follow me on Twitter, you see it right there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk PGA Championship, guys. Talk
Peace,
to you
everybody.
later.
Be good.
Later, boys.
All right, let me just switch this up for 2 people. All right, time for the PGA Championship. 1 second, guys. All right. This one guy, hold on, let me just mute this guy. This dude's been saying the same thing over and over again. He goes, sports are rigged. Oh my God. Imagine having that low of an IQ. All right, PGA Championship. First up, let's bring up the last week. Now, it would have been 4-0 if you played them all top 20. For Schauffele, we had top 10 and top 20. He finished T11. So if you played the Schauffele top 10, you went 3-1 instead of the top 20. But a monster. I personally tailed Connors and Berger. So I went 2-0. Let's we got a major coming up. Let's ride the momentum here.
Yeah, man. Second major of the year, third if you count the players, but technically by PGA Tour standards, second major of the year. And we're right back to it. And I want to start off this week by saying, obviously it's a loaded field. We can't bet everybody. What we're looking at, we're trying to find value. Like, listen, I love Rory this week. Not going to bet him. He's got, if you look at Rory's statistics, Rory at Quail Hollow is like 105 under par. The next closest guy is like 55 under par. So Rory dominates this golf course, but there's literally no value. So some of these picks this week, listen, if you guys want to get on Rory, you want to get on the DeChambeau train, you want to get on the Scotty Scheffler train, all well and good. I like those guys, but I just, the value isn't there. So we're talking golf picks, and we're also talking value picks. So let's just go right back to the Canadian workhorse, please. Show me Corey Connors. And
you already know.
Honestly, this is disturbing. So put some respect on this guy's name. Corey Connors this year, he is 8 of 12 in his tournaments, finishing in the top 25. 5 top 10s, and his last 3 starts at Quail Hollow, T21, T8, T13. And this guy is plus 210 to finish in the top 20. I just don't know what people are smoking. What does this guy have to do to earn a little bit of street cred?
I mean, he's got I've been betting him blind.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I already had to plus 210 for Connors. I know obviously it's the PGA Championship. It's going to be the best of the best. Don't care. This dude's I've bet him the last 6 times I've bet him in the top 2. He's cashed 5 out of 6. So yeah,
dude, it is like I said. You look at his statistics. He's played in 12 events this year. 8 of those events he's finished inside the top 25. 5 of those events he's finished inside the top 10. And his last 3 results at this golf course, he doesn't have worse than a T21 finish. I mean, I don't care whether it's the PGA Championship or another event at the golf course. It's still playing the same golf course. So what's not to love about this guy, especially he's already made us so rich this season.
Yeah. Where to next?
Let's go back to another name who won us some money last week. Obviously, depending on where you played him, Xander Schauffele. Listen, he's the defending PGA champion. His last 4 events on the PGA Tour, he has 4 straight top 20s. And then you throw in his history at Quail Hollow. Last year, solo second place behind Rory. Last year, or the year before that, solo second place. So he's got back-to-back second places in this field. He's got 4 straight top 20s, and he's the defending champion. What's not to like about Xander? You have him up at minus 105 this morning. I saw him better at plus 100.
Whoa, someone just said Corey Connors top 20s at minus 170 now? No way.
Nah, I don't think so.
He must be looking at top 40. I'm going to pull it up to make sure. Yeah, I'm still seeing plus 210.
Yeah, I did see plus 180 if you go top 20 and ties, if you're into that. But ties are like kissing your sister, so we're not into that play.
Where to next?
Well, listen, let's go back to the money man himself. I know he's not going to win, but he's obviously going to play good golf. Show me Tommy Fleetwood.
I'm not tailing this one.
So listen, I know Tommy. Like I said, we know that Tommy Fleetwood is not going to win the golf tournament. He hasn't won a golf tournament on the PGA Tour. He's certainly not going to win a major. But let me tell you about Tommy's stats. Last 3 tournaments at Quail Hollow, T14, T5, T13, all inside the top 20. Tommy's played in 9 events on the PGA Tour this season. 8 of those events, he's finished in the top 25. And 3 of those events, he's finished in the top 10. The guy's a top 20 machine. And the fact that we're getting him at plus money is truly just absurd. So, he hit for us last week. He's hit pretty much every week if you're betting him in the top 20. So I'm just going to keep the mojo running on Tommy Fleetwood. I'm
not telling this one. Where to next?
Let's go to Justin Thomas next.
I like JT. I'm a JT guy.
Been hot and cold for us this year. A couple times we bet him. He just had a bad week.
I think he lost for me the time I bet him this year, though.
Yeah. Listen, I bet him a couple times this year. I was hard pressed on JT's going to win a tournament this year. JT's going to win a tournament this year. Then he had like 2 bad tournaments in a row where he had one bad day and it just kind of screwed me over. I got off of him, and now he won the week before. And then, so his last 4 tournaments on the PGA Tour, he has a win and 2 solos or 2 T for second place. So he's playing really, really good golf. So really like where JT's game is at. And he's also a 2-time PGA champion. This is JT's bread and butter. This is JT's favorite tournament to play in. His dad is a professional golfer. That's why JT got into his dad's what I do. He's a club pro. So JT has a lot of respect for the PGA, a lot of respect for the PGA Championship. Really, really like JT in this format. And he's also won the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow in 2017. So a lot of good vibes for JT this week.
I'm not opposed to tailing this one. So far, I'll be on Connors. It's the PGA Championship, so I'm going to pick 3 to tail. This one's a maybe for me. Let's keep going. Let's see what else you got.
Yeah, so we're going to go to a guy where we don't really get a lot of history in Brooks Koepka in terms of the golf course. But Brooks Koepka is a 3-time PGA champion.
When? How long ago now are we talking?
So 2021 and then 2018, 2019. Listen, his game isn't crazy, sharp right now. but that's why I think we get a good price. And listen, when all the going gets tough on Koepka, when guys are counting him out, when nobody's really talking about him, that's when he shines and everyone's like, how did we not think about Brooks Koepka here? So we're talking about Quail Hollow. If you look at Data Golf, which is the model we're using for Course Fit tool, it's a bomber's paradise. Brooks Koepka is one of the best drivers of the golf ball. He hits it a long way. Like I said, 3-time PGA champion. Typically, PGA championships get set up the same way every time. So in terms of like the way they do the golf course, in terms of distance, in terms of pin locations, in terms of how they grow the rough, all of those things suit Koepka's game really well as a 3-time champion. So I really do think that, Brooks is poised to make a run this week. And I think you get him at a great price.
All right. Where to next?
Our last pick is a guy that we've talked about on the segment plenty of times. Show me Min Woo Lee. Let him cook this week, baby.
Love Min Woo Lee, man.
We do. Listen, another bomber, right? We talk about Course Fit tool. Min Woo Lee hits the ball a country mile. He's 5 for 10 in top 25s this year, and he's only missed one cut. So that's the real kind of number that I'm looking at for Min Woo Lee. It means he's playing good golf and on a week-to-week basis in a bigger field, in a tougher field. I really like his chances to make the cut. If he makes the cut, he gives us a pretty good chance to be up there on the leaderboard.
So that's interesting because you mentioned how he's only missed the cut once. How many people make the cut?
So it's usually top 65 in ties.
Because top 40 for Min Woo Lee, you can get plus 100. And if he's saying he's only missed the cut once.
Yeah, I don't hate that play. It's a loaded field. Listen, Min Woo Lee did win this year. He won in Texas. It was another golf course where it required you to hit the ball really far. He was on the top of the leaderboard at the Players. He struggled the third day, and he kind of dropped back. I think he finished somewhere in the tied for teen something. But listen, it's a course that's going to be set up for bombers. Min Woo Lee's a bomber. I really like what he's done this year. And, I think we get a pretty good price. Like I said, if you want to go a little bit lighter and go top 40, I think that's a great play too.
I'll do it. I'm tailing Min Woo Lee, I'm tailing Connors, and then I'll pick a third one. All right.
Good deal.
Everyone, let's have a good night. Remember to bet responsibly. PGA Championship this weekend. Majors are always fun. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. If you're in the betting league, you have 14 minutes to submit. So if you're in the betting league, the deadline to submit your picks, it's actually 13 minutes now. So make sure you get your stuff in.